Well, hello on this beautiful foggy day. Hello there. Can you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? I hope so. If not, well, I'll just do the recording again. Well, I'm going to answer some questions. Good questions. Good questions. Yeah? Some of the questions that are asked are, is it real? The answer is 1,000,000,000% real. No doubt about it, no getting around it, no fooling around. 1,000,000,000,000, trillion, quadrillion % real. I could show you yourself, I could do it, I could make it, and you'd hear it and you'd say, how did that happen? But the facts are, if you talk to a spirit, how come you don't answer them right back? Because I can't really hear it so much in real time. I'll hear something, you know, but I won't hear it so clear that I'll be able to respond to them. I have to go back. I'm a musician. I have professional studio equipment. I can hear a pin drop 3 rooms down in my studio area because I've been playing my whole life, a national class musician throughout the United States and stuff like that. And I've got great headphones and I'm able to hear and be able to detect far in the distance. For example, you know, I'm listening to an orchestra, but I need to pick out 2 notes throughout the entire orchestra. I'm trained in to be able to pick out those 2 notes. So for me, it's a little bit easier, but I'm picking out those notes or this conversation, and I'm telling you what I think they're saying. I believe that that's what they're saying. It sounds like that, and I'm putting it in red. When it's in red, that means the ghost is talking. So I go like that and I do it like that. That's the way it's done, you know? So I'll put it in red and you'll hear the ghost speak. Is it exactly what they're saying? Well, I think it's what it's saying. You know, it sounds like that. But then I'll crank it and I'll put it up so that you can hear clean, clear, and crisp with headphones as best I can. Put it up there, you know? How come not having conversation? Because, you know, like the other day, I said, any spirits here? I said, what did you die of? You probably saw that one in one of my videos. What did you die of? And like, it sounded like an 11-year-old girl answered. She says, I think I died of the measles. But I would have followed up. What year did you die? And all of that stuff, if I could hear it in real time. Sometimes I'll hear something and I'll turn around, or I'll see something go like this or whatever, and I'll turn around. Were you just there? And you'll hear the spirit respond, that was me. I did it. All right? So it's definitely real, and I can't hear it in real time, so I have to do it the following day, and that's why I always do a follow-up, and I come back and talk to the spirits, okay? We are not conjuring up. We do not use Ouija boards. It is not that your parents, your mother died, or your girlfriend died, and now she's evil. You're talking to the dead. It's evil. No, it's not evil. There's good and there's bad. Okay, there are bastards when they're alive, and when they die, they're still that bastard. But when they're a sweet person, a kind person, an all-around good, nice person, when they die, they're still that nice person. Didn't they go to heaven? Yes, they did. They can hear you. They can hear you in the blink of an eye. They can be in China. Blink of an eye, they can be in, you know, Switzerland. You know, like that. That's how it is. And because that's why I hear some spirits that talk a different language, for crying out loud, and they sound English. And I say, well, if they don't have a voice box, another question, they don't have a voice box, how can they make a sound? You see the moving water, right? And, you know, the Bible speaks about the moving water. But anyways, the splashing and all of that stuff, that manipulates the air. What is sound? Sound is the movement of air. What moves the air? The speaker moves the air. In this case, all of that body of water is moving the air. Therefore, it can manipulate it. It's a frequency. With that frequency, you'll be able to hear it. Then why don't I use something that I can hear in real time? Well, I know a lot about frequency. I know on tour I can hear many a pilot speaking through a big concert PA system. Well, I can hear that frequency, and I know it's a pilot. It's called crosstalk. So why don't I use the spirit box? Because of crosstalk or radio frequencies, right? Says, wow, you know, you're hearing WBLM, whatever it is. You know, you're hearing something and it's taking every third word. By the time you hear it, it sounds like they're responding to you. Some of it, I believe, is real. But in general, no, I'd rather do it this way right now anyways. I might do it if it becomes better, but there's no crosstalk here. This is just me walking through a graveyard, not conjuring up anything, and hearing the spirits. Well, I'm an actor also. I'm in Rock of Ages, the movie. I'm in, Burn Notice. I'm in a lot of things. So, while doing that, I met one of the guys. We have a lot of time, 8 hours, sometimes just sitting around waiting for your part to come up or whatever, okay? So one guy, I was talking to him, and he had died. Now, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, okay? And why should you know that? Because you know that when I go to a graveyard, I wasn't loaded. I'm not saying something that's not being said, because you can actually hear it if you use headphones. Most will not use the headphones. It's a lot of bull. It's not bull, it's there. And I've got to chase Jesus. No, I don't have to chase Jesus. I already have a walk with Jesus. I'm a child of the Most High God also. So I believe and I will receive, but I'm not doing nothing negative. I'm not doing no chants, no worship stuff. I'm just walking like I'm walking through the park. If they want to leave their information here, like they probably are now, probably can't hear it due to the extreme wind. It's pretty windy out here, as you can see. But anyways, I was over there, and one guy who I was asking me, he says, and we haven't been talking about this, and he said he had died. I says, is that right? Let me ask you something. Were you drinking? No. Were you doing drugs? No. Were, this type of thing? I asked him, fine-tuned detail. I dissected the guy. And I basically came out to be, I said, okay, I can trust this one. He went and told me. He says, I was driving my motorcycle. I was in Miami at the time. And driving my motorcycle, I was going through a crossroads, and a truck had hit him. Okay? And he says, I died right there on the pavement. Well, how do you know? He says, because I was looking at my body. And he said, I said, what was the initial thought? What were you thinking? What did you think right then and there? Every question I could ask, I did. What was your initial thought when you were looking down? My thought was, well, if this is death, it's not half bad. That's what he said. It's not too bad. He says, zero pain. He says, my leg was snapped in half. He says, zero pain, and I didn't feel like anything. I just felt better than I have felt before in my life. He says, then when he went back in his body, he knew he was alive again. He says, because the pain was extreme, he said. Now, my family, we have entertainers in my family. A couple of them, my cousin, she is in Ron and Joy Holiday, basically Siegfried and Roy, except the girl, which is my cousin, 95 pounds, very small. So it was an act that they had lions, and then they would dance, and her husband would throw her in the air, and he'd catch her. These type of show things. And I was there, and I heard her, and she heard him, because what had happened is she was laying down on one of the tigers, okay, like a huge Bengal tiger, just like Roy of Siegfried and Roy, except this tiger killed her, and it was by accident, because in 1967 they came out with these big dumpsters that you see now. You go put your trash in the dumpster, the truck comes up, picks it up, and boom, 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 boom. Right? Well, they were there. She was in the back because they were about to go do a show, and she was just sleeping, resting on the Bengal tiger, and the trash man came up, and boom, boom. As soon as it did that, that tiger jumped up so fast and swatted whatever was near her. Like I said, she was about 97 pounds, about just shy of 102 pounds. It was not even that. So it snapped her neck. That tiger loved her. But anyway, she died, okay? Now, he was testifying to us. And my mother said, well, you know, he was under a lot of stress, you know, a lot of emotional stress. So, you know, we left it off at that at the time. Is this. He says, I was in the kitchen, and I was sitting down where I sit down every single morning. And then, of course, he was crying, and he had heard, this is my cousin now, he had heard my cousin's husband, you know, in a marriage, he's the guy that threw her up in the air and stuff like that, out of the act. He heard a sizzling sound, like this. So he just looked up, and there's my cousin standing there, solid as a rock, he said. He thought it was all a dream. He says, there she is right there cooking for me. There she is standing right there, cooking. And I could hear the you know, bacon and eggs like she did every Sunday their whole life. She was cooking for him. And he was solid as a rock. She was solid as a rock. And as soon as he cleared his eyes and looked back again, she was gone. But he says, I know what I saw. But again, my mother said, well, been going through a lot of stress. It's pretty stressful, and I agree. You know, you're under pressure. Okay. Go about 30 years in the future, and I'm at my house in Delray Beach, Florida. Coral Springs, Florida was over there. And I was watching John Edwards Crossing Over. Remember that show? I don't know if it's still on. Point is, I was watching John Edwards. I just watch it for the entertainment reasons of watching it. Do I believe? Oh, hey, I'm open-minded, see? So I'm watching, and there's Ron, Ron and Joy Holiday, who was on HBO, by the way. You can probably see it, but it's very old. But there is Ron, and I'm calling up my father, and he wasn't there. I says, you know, to call him, I left him on the answering machine. I says, hey, Ron's on Crossing Over with John Edwards. He's in the front row. They didn't make an appointment. He was just happened to be there, okay? As I was watching the show, you know, John Edwards is going around, and he says, I'm seeing in this area, I'm seeing a tiger. Is there somebody here with a tiger? I kid you not, I shit you not. I couldn't believe it myself. I says, oh my God, that's as real as hell. I thought it was fake as hell. But no, it was real. So I started to change my viewpoint a little bit and start to open my mind a little bit to other things. He says, so I see a tiger. He says, that would be me. He says, that the tiger killer? He goes, yeah, she was killed by the tiger. So along with, he looked and saw her solid as a rock, solid, right there, and blink of an eye, clear his eye, she wasn't there. And then being on John Edwards Crossing Over, and I see a tiger here. Did she get killed by the tiger? Telling him, and he says yes. It's pretty incredible. Then, and when I was on tour one time, I was playing at a place in Vermont, I believe it was, and I came upstairs, and we had all the rooms of that level of the floors, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, 6, 7 piece band. So it was a bunch of rooms. Mine was the very first room. Go upstairs, take a right, go inside, and I heard the bass player in my room. He started, stop fooling around, JR. It was like that, you know. My name is John. So the whole point is, he goes, I said, why? He says, what? He says, who's on the other side of the door? I says, I don't know. He said, I got my hand on the doorknob and it's turning like this. He's got his hand on the doorknob. We unlocked the doorknob, on the door, opened the door, and there's fresh snow about that deep, because it's Vermont, like this, on the whole porch. You look out the porch this way, that way, which goes for about a football field, 2 football fields, and it was all snow, snowing like a bat out of hell. And then if you were on the top floor, so you would fall to your death if you was to jump over. And forward motion, that was about 3 football fields this way. There was nobody there. Now, I'm going by hearsay on that one because I didn't physically see it, but he says, who's turning the doorknob? Okay. So anyways, you know, you go into the future, you're another 15 years into the future, and you give it a, you know, you give it up to your thought, and you say, hey, pretty interesting. That's all, you leave it off at that. Now, one time, and then I came over here, Mississippi. For some reason, it tends to, the most audible that I've heard has been in Mississippi for some crazy reason. Anyway, I was on the beach, I'm walking, and I just happened to be talking to my bride, and it said, watch your step. Now, I didn't hear nothing, and I just happened to look down. But when I reviewed the video to put it up online on Instagram, sure enough, it said, watch your step, and you see me look down. Well, it wasn't my voice. So we happened to go down here, and I told the story before. It was out in the boondocks. And then as we were driving, there was a graveyard there. And I said, oh, let's go pop in. 3 miles this way, 8 miles that way, 10 miles this way, 15 miles back that way. It was all woods, nothing is there. We go in, and I says, you know what? Nobody's ever called out Zach Bagans. Aha! Fake. There's been workers that want to, you know, write a book and all that stuff that will say they are or whatever it is. But they never really proven that it is. And he's still on national TV on the Travel Channel for 20 solid years. And nobody said, hey, that's fake. No, because it's real. Something's happening. So, I asked the question, you know, is there anybody here? And a spirit said, how may we help thee? Now, again, I didn't hear that in real time, but I did play it back in my studio, and I started to do this. I started to listen hard, and I was able to pick that out, and now I'm able to put them up and online for you to hear. You know, maybe it's because I have a clean pineal gland and I'm able to attract such things, you know? Could be, I don't know. You know, I certainly am not evil. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs, believe in Jesus, and I do my guitar and want to entertain people. I'm not out to get nobody. I'm not into the clique. Forget that business. Do like and subscribe though, and I want you to click right over here. Do that. Share the video. Share it. It doesn't go nowhere. And then if it doesn't go nowhere, I just do it for myself. I keep it for myself. Pretty interesting, huh? And by the way, when my baby, my child, puppy, yes, my baby, my child, my fur baby. You say, oh, your child is this, that, and the other thing. It's my baby. When he passed away, it was terrible, man. I mean, it's emotionally, it's pretty bad. So don't put down anybody who's lost an animal. But anyway, so I was talking to my sister, okay? My sister was a nun, okay? And so she's not gonna be lying anytime soon, right? Well, she's at a pier like this, except, you know, it's a real big one, all fancy. And she walked past the pier in Maine. As we're in Maine, as she's in Maine, I'm talking to her on the phone, and because she knew I was pretty upset. And I said, Jeepers, creepers, emotionally it's pretty bad. What kind of sadistic shit is this? You know, I said, you know, like that. I was upset. And I said, well, whatever. So anyways, we ended the conversation. She takes a bunch of photos and she sends it to me like she always does. She just happened to be walking. So while by the pier, she took a picture. Now, my father had died about a few months before. And with the baby dying of Cookie, my dog, it's pretty upsetting. So she's walking, and then she takes a picture of the pier in Maine. She sends it to me, and I take a look at the pictures, and I says, okay. But in the third photograph, I said, what is that? There's something in the water. I turn around, because I was in the kitchen at the time. I says, that's Cookie. That's my pup. In the water. And you know what? You can see that. It's on this site right here. Trips, Graves, and EVP right here. Just like dog dies and sees his spirit. It's one of those right below. Just check out the video. And you'll see the photograph I'm talking about. But I saw that and I said, what the hell, that's a Cookie. So I go and I go to the stairways. My wife is coming down the stairs. And I said, what do you see? Now she had to be about 16 feet away. I mean, just with a little phone, let's say 8 feet, but 16 feet. And I said, hey, what do you see there? What is that? Is that Cookie? I kid you not. So I sent it to my sister. I says, look at this. I says, it's the baby. God's letting me see him. You know, it's sort of like a pacifier for me, man. You know, because you want to know that your loved ones are okay. Sure enough, she says, oh, I don't see nothing. Maybe it's just for you to see. And then she calls back, oh my God, I see it. I show my mother, he doesn't see it. So what I did is did super contrast in the photo so you can see before and after, because it's a subtlety. And sure enough, you can see it plain as day. It's my pup. So right there it was telling me something. Okay, my father had died, my pup had died, and I told my father, if you die, when you die, because we know that pups don't last that long, right? Well, pup, 18 years, a Shih Tzu. So anyway, I called him that. So the point is that I'm driving, we're going to pick up a tour bus, right? My rig that I'm in now, in fact. So while I'm traveling. So I'm going down the Everglades. Now, that goes for 4 hours, one strip, all the way from, Tampa Bay to Delray Beach. It just goes from one side to the other, east to west. And I'm going down there. My wife was tired, so she laid down a little bit and closed her eyes. And I'm just driving by myself going 80 miles an hour. Okay, I'm driving down there, and what do I hear? Woo-hoo! Now, my father used to do that sound when I was practicing upstairs to bring me down to dinner. He would go get the light switch and go, woo, time to eat, like this. You know, like that, woo. I heard that. I said nothing at first. I analyzed my mouth to see it was closed, believe it or not, because I said, what did I just hear? It was right behind me. So I look in the rearview mirror, no cars behind me. I look to the left to look for construction people. I look to the right to see if there was any construction people. I'm going 80, but it didn't sound woo-hoo. It sounded like this, woo-hoo, like that. Close, but far away. That's what it sounded like. And so I believe that my father was in the back seat with my pup. My wife said, did you do that? I says, oh my God. I says, I didn't do that. I says, you heard that? And she heard it in real time. In real time. See, like I say, sometimes you can hear it. By the way, in this last one of the sessions where it says, guy hears his dog bark, that's my dog's bark. There's not a dog in the distance, by the way, in this video. It's you're hearing my dog bark. You hear it. And it even, when I walk up there, I says, was that Cookie Boy barking? And you heard another one? That was the tone of my dog. Now, I heard one over here on this beach, but it sounded like it was a golden retriever or a German Shepherd, right? It didn't sound like a little Shih Tzu. And there was nobody in that graveyard, by the way, and there was nobody on the beach, by the way. I always show it. There's nobody here. So you can't see nothing because it's so foggy today, and you might not even be able to hear me due to the wind. It's really crazy. It's okay. But I hope you can hear it. If not, I'll do it again, I guess. But just wanted to share that with you, do not conjure up anything. Won't do that. Okay? It is as real as it gets. Do I do a spirit box? Like I say before, I know a lot about frequency, crosstalk, radio frequencies. You can hear it. So I don't trust that. But not right now. You know? I don't deny that they're hearing that. You know? So pretty interesting, I think. Well, just wanted to let you know, definitely wear headphones. Headphones, please. Okay? Don't do rocking prayers and try to conjure up anything. We won't do that. We're just going for a walk in the park, all right? All right. All right. I hope this video finds you well. You can ask any question. It's like Frank Zappa once said, you can ask me any question known to mankind, just watch out what you do with your eyebrows when you say it. Just talk polite, be nice, don't be rude. Don't say that you know the world's answers. I don't say that. I don't think I know everything. But just be polite. Just ask a question. I have no problem with that. I don't know. I said, geez, I have no idea. Okay? One person asked, he says, oh, I'm hearing this, that, and the other thing. I says, well, that's crosstalk. You're hearing a pilot talking. And they were scared to death. And there's no need to be frightened, by the way. And by the way, if you do this, you go into the graveyard, you can't be afraid. It seems to bring a negative spirit. If you're happy-go-lucky, right, it's okay to do it because you'll probably get happy-go-lucky spirits and you're calm, and it tends to bring a calm spirit. But when you're terrified, look out, it tends to bring that too. So, you know, there are some spirits that have never been human. And these are the ones that you would have to watch out for, I guess. But I'm not asking for it. You know, I do a prayer before I do every one of these things. In the holy name of El Shaddai, the whole works. I am protected by the spirit of El Shaddai, Jesus of Nazareth. You know, like this, I do a protection prayer, by the way. And I also read a book called How to Expel Demons and shit like this. So I'm a little bit more prepared. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Like this, okay? Because you can't be around when you say that. Put on the full armor of God, the shield of faith, the sword of the Holy Spirit, helmet of salvation, and shoes of peace. Okay? So that's why, you know, I don't worry about it. And I just go for a little walk. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do like and subscribe. It takes a lot of time. If I want to do this and build it up to a real site, we do take donations below. Oh, hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Buy me a cup of coffee or a pizza, even better. All right, I do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Press that little bell. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. They're your friends, right? And don't forget to go see my other site. Should be right at the top of Crypts, Graves, and EVP. There's the bottom right, top. There'll be something that says the Guitar Temple. If you like music, okay? If you're a professional guitar player, or a monk, a beginner, or a priest, professional, go to the Guitar Temple. You can see some professional artists, some who I've worked with. All right, we'll talk to you later, and thank you for stopping in at Crypts, Graves, and EVP. Sweethearts, you. All right, thanks a lot. I hope it answered some questions. Okay, thanks a lot.
changing, who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again.
Yeah. You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving. You can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again.
No fear, see clear, you deserve to be great.
Sweetheart? Yeah? You like Christmas? You like Christmas time? You want to go outside? You don't? All right.
I move on, that's how I stay strong. A new